Okay, guys, let's move on to some yummy food that's going to go along with our coaching. So, we are going to bring on Mia Sin, and Mia is a national on air nutrition expert. She is the host of Good Food Friday on ABC News and named the top nutritionalist to follow on Instagram and Women's Health Magazine. And Mia is going to help us beginners to really embrace our plant-based nutrition. So the only thing I know about this, Mia, is I can make a mean salad. So hopefully you're going to give me
That's
some
a good
more.
start.
Yeah, hopefully I can get some more options too for my plant-based journey. So without any further ado, welcome Mia and take it away.
Yay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Mia. I'm a registered dietitian based out of Charleston, South Carolina. And as you know, August is National Wellness Month, and Image Skincare invited me to talk about one of my favorite nutrition topics, which is the plant-based diet. This is their second annual Wellness Awaits Summit, and I had so much fun last year talking all about mindful eating and sharing 3 recipes. And today I have 3 more for you at the end of the session. And I also want to remind you to stay until the end of the session because I will be giving away some really delicious plant-based snacks and goodies. And I'll actually show you a picture of that. So I will share my screen and I have a little presentation to start. Okay. I think that it's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so my presentation is plant-based nutrition for beginners. So this is just a picture of the giveaway package that I'll be giving away at the end of the session. So be sure to stay on. There's some delicious snacks, plant-based essentials, and I'll actually talk about some of these foods too during my presentation. So stick around for that. And just a little more background about me. So I'm a registered dietitian. I have a master's degree in human nutrition from Columbia. And I also wrote a book this year called Mostly Plant-Based. So I'm really passionate about this topic. And it's actually available for pre-order now. And you can pre-order wherever books are sold, Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, penguinrandomhouse.com. And then I'm also on Instagram at Nutrition by Mia, where I share healthy recipes and nutrition tips daily. So you can find me there as well. So this is just a little bit of an overview about what I will be touching on today. So kind of defining what plant-based means. And it's really not as restrictive as many people think. It's easy for anyone to follow no matter how you currently eat. I'll talk about the benefits, how to go plant-based, and no, you don't have to overhaul your diet completely. And then I will do some recipe demos. I have 3 delicious recipes for you. So what is plant-based? So plant-based really is a way of eating that proportionately includes mostly foods from plant-based sources. So that's your produce, your grains, beans, legumes, and it doesn't entirely exclude animal foods such as fish, meat, and dairy. It just kind of rearranges the food pyramid that we grew up with. So it puts, your meat, your dairy, at the top, and then the base of the pyramid is your plant-based food. So that's your fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. So that makes up the bulk of the diet. And it really differs from vegetarianism, which is, eliminates meat and fish, and even veganism, which eliminates meat, fish, dairy, and eggs. And that's why I really love and advocate for this way of eating, because it's realistic and it's something that isn't restrictive and can really be embraced for life by anyone. So there are numerous benefits to a plant-based diet. One of those is disease prevention and longevity. So, research shows that a diet rich in plant-based foods may lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. It may lower your cardiovascular disease risk, and also weight management. So plant-based foods are naturally rich in fiber, which is satiating, it fills us up, and it can help with weight loss if that's your goal, and weight maintenance, digestion, and gut health. So plant-based foods are naturally rich in fiber, and you're getting 3 types of fiber with a plant-based diet. One of those being prebiotic fiber, and that's a type of fiber that helps selectively nourish the good bacteria in our gut, and it helps increase the diversity and abundance of that good bacteria, which are two markers of gut health. And we know that gut health affects everything from our skin to our energy to our digestion. That's a really big area of research right now, gut health, and how food plays an essential role in that. And also skin health, of course, I wanted to talk about that. Research is constantly uncovering the link between what we eat and how it impacts our skin. And plant-based whole foods are among those that may help prevent and even reverse aging of skin. So one of the ties to kind of dull, lifeless skin is an inflammatory diet. So that's one that is rich in saturated fat, refined carbohydrates, processed meat, sugar sweetened beverages. And so plant-based diet is naturally rich in vegetables, fruit, nuts, seeds, and those are all foods that contain antioxidants that have a direct impact on lowering that inflammation in the body. So therefore it may be beneficial for skin health. And then as a bonus, it's environmentally friendly. So plant-based foods have a lesser environmental impact than animal foods. So this is an exciting statistic. It was released by the University of Illinois, and it shows that 40% of Americans are kind of shifting towards eating more plant-based foods. But of course, as a dietitian, I know it can be difficult knowing where to start. And so that leads to my next slide, which is how do you start? So I love using this plate method. So I think this is really visual. It makes it really easy and manageable. So basically what you want to focus on is half of your plate being vegetables, a fourth of it being grains, preferably whole grains, which are a good source of fiber, and then a fourth with plant-based protein. And, focusing on this ratio of foods and nutrients can really kind of naturally helps you stay full. It kind of crowds out the bad stuff. I call it the crowding out principle. So when you really balance your plate in this way, it crowds out the added sugar, processed foods, red meat, and so on. So another thing I wanted to touch on is that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. So you can do a Meatless Monday. I think that's a great place to start for anyone, just experimenting with more plant-based meals and ingredients. And then also kind of reframing the way you think of meat and animal protein. So think of it more as a condiment or a garnish, something that can enhance the flavor of your meal. So you don't need to eliminate it completely. I'm just kind of reframing the way you think about it instead of making it the star of your plate. And then I think something that everyone can really do is start your day with whole grains. I'm a big fan of oatmeal. It's a great blank canvas that you can jazz up with fruit, nuts, seeds, and it's just a really nutritious way to start your day. And oats are also a good source of energizing carbohydrates and fiber, so it'll help you stay full. So this is an example day of eating following a plant-based diet. So for breakfast, you might have overnight oats. I love overnight oats because you kind of like set it and forget it. You can just add all the ingredients to a jar and place it in the fridge and it's ready to eat in the morning. So kind of does all the work for you. And I like to add chia seeds because it helps thicken the overnight oats. And I have some good recipes on my website, nutritionbymia.com, and I have some in my book as well. And then you can add your favorite fruit, nuts, and seeds. Lunch might be a black bean burrito bowl with sauteed bell peppers, onions, salsa, and then you can even add like a palm-sized portion of animal protein if desired. But black beans are also a source of plant-based protein. And then for snack, you might have hummus and sliced veggies, whole grain pita. That way you're getting fiber and plant protein and good fats. So kind of those balance of macronutrients. And then for dinner, you can make a lentil bolognese over chickpea noodle pasta. I have a recipe for this too in my book. I love lentils as sort of a meat substitute because it has that similar texture. So it's great for someone who's trying to cut back on their meat consumption. And you can do chickpea noodle pasta, which is going to be higher in plant protein and fiber, but on a plant-based diet, pasta, regular pasta or whole wheat pasta is a nutritious choice. So I have this chart, a similar chart in my book, and I really love it. It's just kind of swaps to boost your overall nutrition. And cut back on your meat intake, I guess. So ground meat, for example, I love using minced mushrooms as a replacement. It's a vegetable that has sort of a savory umami flavor, and it can really take on the same texture and flavor of meat. And you can even do 50-50. So if you want to make hamburgers or like a bolognese sauce, you can use half meat and half minced mushrooms. That's a great way to get in a serving of veggies and also cut back on your saturated fat consumption. Regular pasta, instead of regular pasta, you can do veggie noodles. I like pasta, and there's nothing wrong with it, but veggie noodles are really fun. If you have a spiralizer, they're like $10 to $20, really affordable, and you can transform any vegetable into noodles. So zucchini, carrots, sweet potato, beets, and that's a really fun idea that you can do with veggies. I'm a big fan of cauliflower pizza crust. So cauliflower is a mild tasting veggie, and there's a lot of great store-bought options, but you can also make your own at home. Instead of fruit smoothies, you can do fruit and veggie smoothies. So I like adding spinach or riced cauliflower to smoothies because they're mild tasting veggies. And if you have enough fruit in your smoothie, it kind of masks any taste that they might add. But really, I never taste the spinach or the cauliflower in fruit smoothies. You can even do avocado and pureed chickpeas in baked goods. So there's a lot of great recipes. There's like chickpea blondies and avocado brownies. And they add sort of that same mouthfeel, but without the butter. And then finally, roasted chickpeas instead of potato chips. So roasted chickpeas are kind of salty and crunchy, and they can kind of satisfy that craving for potato chips, but they're a good source of plant protein and fiber. So my recipes. So I'm going to be sharing 3 recipes, and I'll kind of walk you guys through them, and I'll also drop the recipes into the chat so you guys can follow along that way. But I'll just give a little intro. So I'm going to be sharing this chia pudding. I'm going to be demoing the base of the pudding, so you guys can customize it however you like. But just some flavor combination suggestions are apple cinnamon, banana bread, and berries. Then I'll be demoing chickpea carrot burger patties. This is a good alternative to regular hamburgers, and you're also getting in good veggies and whole grains. And then my favorite, the naturally sweetened chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. So these are my favorite. They're so good. They don't have any eggs, or they're completely plant-based. So I'll walk you guys through those as well. So I'm going to add them to the chat now, and then I will flip the camera over into my kitchen and walk you guys along. Alrighty, so welcome to my kitchen. I have all 3 recipes here. I've already made them so you can see what they look like, and I have all the ingredients measured out. And so I'll just walk you through it and kind of talk about the nutrition that each provides and what ingredients make it special. So let's start here with the chia pudding. So this is chia pudding 3 ways. You're going to start with 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. So chia seeds, they're really small in size, but they are a nutritional powerhouse. They're packed with fiber, plant protein, and they actually absorb 10 times their weight in liquid. So as you can see here, it turns into like a pudding. And then I'm going to add some maple syrup, and you can do honey, any sweetener you like. And I use almond milk, but you can use any sort of plant-based milk. Oatmeal is really popular right now. This is some vanilla extract. So this is just a great base for chia pudding. And something that's really important is that you want to whisk it together, and then you're going to let it sit for 10 minutes and whisk it again, because it helps the seeds distribute so that they can plump up and create that pudding consistency. So this is a great recipe that you can make the night before and enjoy in the morning. Again, like set it and forget it. I love those kind of breakfasts, but you can also make it in the morning if you have 10 minutes to spare. And then here I've just topped them with blackberries and sliced almonds, but like I had mentioned, you can do apple cinnamon, especially great in the fall, banana, and then also berries. So next up, we have my chickpea carrot burger patties. So, grill season, tailgate season, these would be perfect to make. I'm going to start with these chickpeas. So chickpeas are a source of plant-based protein. So that's going to be the base of this recipe. And then instead of using an egg to hold all these ingredients together, I'm using a flax egg. So this is great for someone that's following a plant-based diet because it's a great substitute for an egg. So what I do is I add 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal to a bowl with 3 tablespoons of water and let that sit for about 5 minutes. So I've already done that here. And I'm gonna need a spoon for this. But yeah, so this is just great for even in baked goods, like if you need a recipe, if a recipe calls for an egg, you can do flax egg, and it usually works pretty well. I guess it would depend on what recipe you're making, but I've never had any issues with it. So I'm adding some oats here. So usually you add breadcrumbs, but I always use oats whenever I can because they're whole grain. I always have like a bunch of oats in my pantry and they're affordable. So they're whole grain and they're going to add nutrition to this recipe. I'm going to add some shredded carrots, red onion, some garlic, and then salt and pepper. And you're just going to blend that together, and I'll spare your ears, but you're gonna blend that together to create your batter. And then I recommend letting it sit in the fridge for about 10 minutes just to harden, and then you can shape them into patties and grill them or cook them on the stovetop or even bake them. So, and then you can add whatever, toppings you want. So that's a great recipe for, fall and tailgate season. And then finally, my favorite recipe, and this recipe is in my book. I love it so much. So it is naturally sweetened chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. So again, I love using oats whenever I can, use them as a flour alternative. So this recipe calls for rolled oats and quick oats, and it gives it a great texture. And I've already added 2 bananas. So you're actually going to mash the bananas, and you want to make sure that they're ripe because they'll be sweeter. And that is going to serve as the sweetener in this recipe. So I call bananas and dates sweeteners with benefits because they add that sweetness to your baked goods, but they're also adding fiber and key nutrients that you won't get with like refined sugar, for example. So we have 2 bananas, our oats, quick oats, going to add a 4th cup of nut butter. And I'm using peanut butter, but you can use cashew butter, sunflower seed butter, any sort of nut butter or seed butter. And then some vanilla extract. And then finally, you're going to mix that together once you have the bananas mashed, and that's going to create your batter. And then you're going to add your chocolate chips. So I know I call these naturally sweetened chocolate chip oatmeal cookies because I don't add sugar, but if you're using chocolate chips, they will add, sugar if they're sugar sweetened, but you can also get a stevia sweetened chocolate chip. I really like the Lily's brand. And then you're going to mix that together and you're going to bake that, drop it onto your sheet pan, bake for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I like to top it with some sea salt. So yeah, those are the recipes. I hope you guys enjoy them. If you try them, tag me on Instagram. I'm at Nutrition by Mia. And I think we are going to choose the giveaway winner now. So good luck, everyone. And I will kind of toss it over to the hosts.
Okay, yummy, yummy. I'm not a huge cooker, so I love that those recipes were so easy that I
So
think
easy.
even I can make them.
Yay.
And yeah, so I'm excited. I'm especially excited to try that burger. And then I think for dessert, I'm gonna have a little cookie. So I think
I'm so happy. You'll love them.
All right. So before we get into the prize, can I just ask you just like a couple of questions?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So for people who like, I love the kind of that you gave, like if you are like me and you eat a little bit of meat, and then there's some cheats that you can get more vegetables in. I
Yes.
love different kind of tips like that. So when you're eating, like how much of it should be plant-based versus if you are doing kind of an animal product, or is there really a good balance?
Yeah, that's why I really love this plant-based movement, because it's really inclusive. It's not super restrictive like veganism or vegetarianism that really exclude entire food groups. And so being plant-based is you you basically just rearrange the food pyramid. So at the base, the majority of your diet is made up of those plant-based foods. So your whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables, and nuts and seeds. And then at the top of the pyramid, that you consume in lesser amounts, if desired, are your meat, your fish, your dairy. And so, and that's kind of the premise of the book I wrote, mostly plant-based, incorporating mostly plant-based foods into your diet. So maybe 2 plant-based meals a day, and then 1 includes animal protein like salmon or even ground beef. Maybe starting your day with chia pudding or overnight oats, and then lunch having that black bean burrito bowl. So yeah, making it your own and just rearranging your plate and rearranging the way that you approach your meals.
And is there any specific nutrients, like people feel like they miss something if they leave out meat, or how do you know, like, I'm going to substitute and still get all of the things, maybe like iron or protein that
Right.
I've had in my like animal product, that how do I get that out of my plant?
Yeah, so that is the topic I'm really passionate about. And I have a whole chapter on it in my book because there are certain nutrients that are just harder to get from plant-based foods. So iron is one of them. Heme iron in animal foods is just more bioavailable to us. So our body can more readily absorb it and utilize it. It's more efficient at doing so than iron found in spinach, for example. And another vitamin is vitamin B12 that's not found in any plant-based foods. You have to get it from like fish or meat. So yeah, definitely if you are excluding animal foods or fish or dairy, there are nutrients of concern that you should definitely think about. You can work with a dietitian, but again, with plant-based, you're not eliminating any food group or any food in particular. So you're just kind of rearranging the amounts of each that you consume. But yeah, that's why I don't recommend, that extreme way of dieting where you're eliminating entire food groups, because there are certain nutrients that are definitely hard to get on just plant-based foods alone.
Okay, that was very good. So if people, like, I know in skincare, one of the things that's really, really big is collagen. And people want like
Yes.
a collagen supplement, but that is really kind of an animal protein. Is there a way to get collagen? Is there a vegan or a plant-based collagen that's out there?
That is a great question. I know there's marine collagen. I believe there's not a plant-based source. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but marine collagen I think is kind of, I mean, that's still animal derived. But yeah, collagen supplements, I mean, it's very new. The link between consuming collagen supplements and skin, and
Right.
most of the benefits are kind of observational, but I always say, like, if it's not causing harm and you're experiencing benefits, then there's no harm in doing so. I send collagen supplements to my mom because she loves them. She like swears by them. So she uses like the powder. But yeah, so yeah, if you're seeing benefits, then adding some powder to your smoothie with your rice, cauliflower, and spinach and fruit.
Like that.
That's a great option.
All right. So just kind of layer it in with all your fruits and veggies. I love that option. All right. And then one final thing. So I know, especially for people who are kind of short on time, meal prepping is big. Like,
Yes.
if you're using a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, how do you meal prep for a long time? Do they stay really well for you? Is there a trick that you can have meals all week and then I'm not gonna have wilted lettuce? Like, what do I do, Mio? What is my
Yes, this is so tricky because even with like meat and animal protein, there's a certain shelf life when it's prepared. It doesn't taste good after a certain amount of time. But I definitely recommend meal prepping in batches. So maybe 2 or 3 days at a time. But there are some recipes that freeze really well and can be reheated. So, identifying those are good. I have some like breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burrito type of recipes in my book that can be frozen and heated up throughout the week. So those are great options. I think just identifying, if you are looking to meal prep like a week out, then just identifying which ones will freeze well and can be reheated.
That's
but I
amazing.
usually do it like a few days at a time.
I think that's also a great tip for moms because maybe the kids are going to come home from school. They can grab, so instead of grabbing like chips or something unhealthy, there could be something nice that's frozen, like a breakfast burrito. That I can eat a breakfast burrito any time of day. So,
Oh yeah. And having like veggies at eye level in the fridge, pre-cut, sliced with nutritious dips like hummus, guacamole, that's always a good option too. Like when it's at eye level, you're more inclined to choose it over the chips. So just having those options prepped and ready are always a good idea.
all right. So for beginners like me who are just starting kind of into the plant-based arena and who really, really do love the taste of meat, I know you talked about like having some mushrooms kind of sliced up. Are there other foods that can kind of still give me that experience, but that are plant-based that I can fall in love with as well?
Yes. So another one is eggplant. I think that's a great sort of
Okay.
meaty vegetable. Mushrooms are my favorite. Portobello, you can do like portobello mushroom steaks. There's like recipes for those,
Okay.
kind of like with all the same seasonings. Um, yeah, those are two that come to the top of mind. For cheese, there are a lot of great cheese substitute recipes, like a
Oh,
ricotta that's made with cauliflower and cashews, or a Parmesan cheese made with cashews and nutritional yeast. That nutritional yeast is a great kind of hack for someone that's trying to cut back on their dairy and cheese consumption and has that sort of cheesy flavor. And some people use that like on popcorn or even as a Parmesan cheese substitute. So those are some that come to mind. And then I have a ground beef recipe that uses mushrooms and sunflower seeds
cool.
and kind of savory spices to kind of mimic that ground beef flavor and texture. That's all plant based. So yeah,
Awesome.
there's
Can you do like
it's
a
such a like
taco with that?
growing.
That
What's
sounds,
that?
I said, can you do a taco with that? That sounds amazing.
Yes, yes, you can do tacos or like shepherd's pie or
Cool.
um, stuffed bell peppers. Yeah, so
Okay.
much of that.
Oh my gosh, I love these tips. So when it comes to the skin, what are some of the benefits? Because we know that sometimes, definitely, if you're eating things, too many things that are animal based, you can cause some inflammation in your body. Maybe that would show up on your skin as not being radiant and glowing. So, what are some of the benefits of eating more plant based when it comes to the skin?
Yeah, so I had mentioned that you know the tie between food, nutrition, and skin is growing, and nutrition's such a new science.
Yeah.
It's only been around for a couple of decades, so it's still in its infancy. But yeah, there's more research coming out, the tie between food, nutrition, and skin, and it's kind of like that inflammatory diet that is linked to having that dull skin or more acne prone. So that's like added sugar, saturated fat, which is found in red meat and high fat dairy products. And those plant based foods, like your fruits and vegetables, I like to say eat a rainbow of produce because you're getting a range of phytonutrients that help fight free radical damage. Free radicals are kind of unstable molecules that are we get that are developed like from sun exposure or even metabolism in the body, so they're very normal. But just incorporating more of those plant-based foods like fruits and vegetables that are rich in antioxidants and phytonutrients, they can help sequester those free radicals, and that can be really beneficial for skin and just overall health. And just having that anti-inflammatory diet, so those anti-inflammatory foods include those fruits and vegetables and even like fatty fish. And that's why I say don't eliminate animal protein completely, but those contain omega-3 fats, which are anti-inflammatory. So, I think the key is to not eliminate any food group. There's no need to do that from a nutrition standpoint, just kind of rearranging that the way that we approach different food groups and how we incorporate them into our daily diet.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely will be using your food pyramid going forward because it's going to
Awesome.
encourage myself as well as my family to eat more greens, eat more vegetables, have more fruits, and then, not have as much animal protein. So I love that. All right. So you have an amazing giveaway with some great, great snacks in it. And I saw the picture of it. Do you have a favorite snack in there? Like if I don't win the
Oh,
basket, what should I go
yes.
get?
So I really so I was never a soda drinker, but
Okay.
actually I come from a family of dentists, so we never had soda in our house, but I love carbonated beverages. So there's this product called Poppy, and it's a prebiotic soda. So prebiotics are
Oh,
this type of fiber that help nourish the good bacteria in our gut. So they have like 5 grams of sugar. So if you like soda, this is a nutritious swap. It's kind of like a healthy soda with benefits. So I think that's my favorite one in the package. And I put a few bottles in the giveaway.
all right. I have never heard of this. So this is
Oh, you'll
amazing.
love it. Yeah, I
Okay.
turned so many people onto it.
Okay,
So
so if I
it's
do
really
not
good.
win, I will go out and have some puppies. So I know you said they're all healthy, they're all plant-based snacks, and there's nothing in there I got to cook, right? It's everything I can just like grab and go.
Grab and go. Yeah,
All right,
totally.
awesome. Let's say grab and go. All right, so let's see who is first going to win Mia's amazing basket. And for that one, I have Itza Morello. So Itza, you are the winner. I might be calling
Yay.
you to share some snacks with you, or you can email us and tell us your favorite. So our global events team is going to be contacting you and letting you know how to claim your amazing snack basket. So thank you so much for that information. And of course, you know, you got the diet for your body, and Image has what we call our skincare diet with all of the really good ingredients for your skin. So you got to feed your skin good things as well. So our MD Restoring Power Serum, again, our Prevention Plus Primer, and our Ormetic Balancing Lip Enhancement. And we have Melinda Estrada is going to be the winner of that. Every time we have you on, I learn so many things, Mia. It helps
Oh,
me want to
yay.
kick
I
my
love it.
nutrition up to the next level. So
That's
thank
my
you so
goal.
much. I'm already following you on Instagram, but can you tell everybody one more time how they can follow you and stay healthy and look more and find more plant-based options?
Yes, so Nutrition by Mia on Instagram. I share healthy recipes, all 10 ingredients or less typically,
All right.
and nutrition tips daily. So you can find me there.
All right. Thank you. It was a pleasure. And I'm going to find that soda.